Hi everyone. I know I'm a couple of minutes early, so I thought, well, I'll just come on and have a sip of my coffee while I'm waiting. Just while people join and realise that I'm here. Hello. Hello, ladies. Lady dragons. I was just talking to myself, saying hello, and then you appeared. So, just having some coffee because I am a bit of a caffeine addict, so oh well. I'll be in a dragon mug though. Can you hear me alright? That's alright, it'll be on till tomorrow. Try to mix it up each week. Thank you. Ideal. I wasn't sure because obviously I can hear me, but yeah. So I'm a little nervous. As you can probably tell, I generally get a fit of the giggles. So this is going to be a bit weird, but I'm kind of excited. So I'm hoping my notes don't let me down. Oh, good. I'm glad because I want it to be book related. But I don't want it to be the same or boring, so try and mix it up. I love a good Trivia Tuesday. Gets to about midday and I go, oh my god, it's Trivia Tuesday. Oh! I think that's just a frazzle brain. It's just what I'm like. So, yes. How are you doing anyway? I think I'm still a minute or two early. So. Nothing wrong with nonsense answers. Hello. My day was alright. A bit of drama, but you know where it's like. Some days are a bit like that. I did some boxes, so. So yeah, there it is. Oh, dragon mug empty. There we go. What time is it? Do we know what time it is? It is 8 o'clock. So, hello. This is our first live. I'm Kath, just in case you didn't know. I know some of you will. And I live in Cornwall and I run Book Living Dragons. My partner does help me, but they're out at the moment. So I took advantage of taking this time to say hello. I have some notes because I thought my brain will probably have a bit of a pause. So I thought I'd talk about how Book Living Dragons started, because that seemed to be what everybody wanted to hear, so I will go with that. Hi. It started in 2020 when the world turned upside down. I was furloughed, just like so many other people, and I used to also be a book fairy. I used to love being a book fairy. It was great, just getting books, taking them out and about, putting them in places for people to find later. But then we were told we couldn't do that because of COVID. So it was a bit like, because the day of the first lockdown, I put out a message saying, oh, anybody who wants something, let me know, and I'll drop something to your door. Got home 2 hours later, found out that we'd been announced to be put in a lockdown, and I had about 80 messages asking for some books. And I thought, oh my god. And that was when it was completely free. So it was a bit of a shock to the system. Oh yes, the good old world of furlough. Well, it was certainly something. So I was on my own because my partner still worked. And I was getting a bit bored, to be quite honest with you. It sounds alright, stay at home, but there's only so many times you can clean the house. And yes, I am in the bedroom because I did have a place for this, but then I realised that when I put myself, I was going to do that here. So I thought, well, actually, that's no good. So here I am. But yeah, so furlough, and then I missed book fairing. I missed giving people books. I missed the whole people liking receiving books, and getting excited. So I sort of looked into, well, what can I do? And that's when I discovered mystery boxes. And I thought, well, I could do that. Give it a go. Take a chance. And I started. And it was not the easiest thing to do. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. And once I sort of got my head around a few of the logistics, it was quite nice to be able to go, right, what would you like? Would you like fantasy? Would you like crime? Would you like whatever? And people could choose, and people were buying them for family, and it made me feel good. I'm not gonna lie, it was partial self. It was partially selfish because I like I'm a people pleaser. I like when people are happy with things. But I kind of wanted to do a bit more on the independent side. Hiya. Because my aunt is actually an indie author. I haven't featured her in my boxes yet because she used to own her own self-publishing house, and it became a bit much, so she took a little bit of a break from it. So that's something I would love to do. But yeah, so my aunt is an indie author, which is quite an interesting thing to have in your family. Then we have a friend who runs a geeky bits and bobs Dungeons and Dragons-y type shop in the only city in Cornwall, at Happy Piranha. So it's great. You know, you go in and there's a bit of all sorts in there. So I thought, well, small businesses definitely get shafted. Everyone, we all know, we all love Amazon. Even I like Amazon. You know, I'm not gonna say I don't buy from them, because I do, because it's convenient and it's easy. But in an ideal world, I would love to support non-mainstream. So that's what I decided I'd do. Yes, your Hunger Games candles came from there. And the dragon candles came from there, from the first themed box as well. So that was really good. But because we know them, I do say a lot, by the way. I don't do it on purpose. I do know what I'm talking about. My brain just doesn't catch up all the time. It was because the owner of Happy Piranha went to school with my partner, so we know them very well. So at first it was a bit of an experiment just to see what happened, see if it worked. Not everyone was supportive. I'm not going to say they were, but my partner and me still sort of pushed it because happy piranha. Not hungry piranha. Although I imagine piranhas are very hungry. Yeah, so we sort of thought, well, how can we push it to more? The mystery boxes are still our big seller. I am still happy doing those. But I always wanted to do the indie boxes. Because it's something people don't do. Everybody gets mainstream. Everybody sort of... I mean, there's nothing wrong with loving a mainstream author. You know, read what you want. It's great. We all should. But, oh, good old autocorrect. We all should enjoy what we read. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think sometimes, especially with so much out there, it is easy to get into popping into a shop and buying a mainstream author or someone who's traditionally published. Yeah, I love doing them. I mean, I always get to the end of design, like making the plans for them. Yeah. And then I always go, oh God, what if nobody likes it? But that's human, I think. And then I send them out and people love them, so... I still haven't read my sci-fi books yet, but I will. They're gonna come up on the book club because I want to read them, and I really should. You know, I put them in. I really should read them. But yeah, I am gonna look at my notes because my brain's frazzled. So why book boxes? Because I mean, we're on Bookstagram. We all love books here. It's not a huge assumption to say that you love books, because I love books. I mean, I would assume that we all agree on that one. I always wanted to be a librarian or a bookseller or something book related. I think I never went anywhere. I've never been anywhere without having a book either on me or near me. Then not everyone does. I've always been a fantasy person, into fantasy, and I'm just trying to think, I used to read all sorts when I was younger, but I could easily just sit down, read a book all day. So yeah, I mean, that was always a thing for... I suppose that was partially why I wanted book boxes, because, I mean, there's nothing else that gives you the escapism the same way. I mean, films are great. TV shows are brilliant. Travelling. What's travelling again? It's been a couple of years. But, yeah, books have that escapism that it doesn't matter what background you've got. If you can read, or if you can listen to an audiobook or whatever, oh, that would be good. Then you can go anywhere, whether it's a real place, whether it's a fictional place. And I think we all needed that. We've all needed that this last couple of years. I don't know about you, but I've definitely needed a fictional holiday. So, the reason, a throwback box. I like that. That would be interesting. I don't know. I think I'll have to think about that one. We'll have to talk about that one, because we all have different books that we remember from our childhood. And I'm sure I'll be mentioning some at some point. But yeah, I remember seeing things like, I mean, everybody's heard of Fairy Loot, Owl Crate, even the smaller ones like Book of the Month, Book Box Club. They've all, I saw them all and I was like, what are they missing? Because they've got, they don't all do the exact same thing. They're all similar. Hi, Gary. But what are they missing? And that's where my knowledge of indie authors came from. Because I remember meeting some at local Comic Cons and things like that. And thinking, it's such a shame that more people aren't accessing these, because you get to speak to people. They're not someone in a big house somewhere with thousands and thousands. They're just people who have a second job usually, and that's their writing is their passion usually. They don't do it necessarily because they have to, although there is a passion there for it, but because you understand what I mean. It's not to put food on the table as such, it's because they want to do it. And that's what I think was missing. That personal side of it. With the big authors, with the big names. Yes, I am rambling a tad. But I'm going to go back to why was my first themed box dragons. Have you seen the name? Book Loving Dragons. Obviously it had to be dragons. What else could it possibly be? I mean, what is more fantasy or fiction or anything than dragons? So yes. I mean, I love dragons. I don't think I know anybody who likes fantasy that doesn't like dragons. So why not? And it was a nice easy one to do because a lot of people love dragons and a lot of people write about dragons. So yes. Also more small businesses as well. Dragons is an easy one to find things for. I found some of the boxes are a little trickier. Definitely a little trickier. But dragons has always been a thing. I have never done a live before. So this is definitely probably going to be very rambly. But I will be improving as I go. But also the other thing was, why did I want people from the UK? Why did I want businesses and authors from the UK? And the truth is, partially because of bloody COVID. But also, the more I had to pay for shipping, the more I'd have to charge people. And if I had a plan for something, I'd have to wait longer. If I got it from America, Australia, China, whatever. Whereas if I've got it from the UK, I'm probably only going to have to wait a few days, which means I can get it out to you faster. Which, let's be honest, none of us want to wait for something that we're excited about. So that was a kind of an easy choice. Because why would I wait and pay extra and charge you extra if I could do it a little more budget friendly where possible? Yeah. The name Book Loving Dragons. The name Book Loving Dragons became a bit of an experiment at first. I knew, as I say, I knew it was going to be a book box. I knew that it was going to be eventually indie authors, because that was always in the back of my mind, even when I did the mystery boxes, that as much as I like the mystery boxes, it wasn't what I really wanted to do. It wasn't like the thing that got me going, for want of a better phrase. It was very much, this is what I want to do. Fantasy, as I say, most people love dragons, and book dragon just kind of works. You're adding to your hoard of books when you get a box. I mean, you are. You're becoming a book dragon. So I have my pile of books in my little mountainous treasure trove, and I just wait for you to come and steal them from me. But yeah, I'm not exactly smug, to be honest, but there you go. Maybe my partner might disagree, but I don't think so. There was a couple of questions that I put up. Well, I didn't put up. I put up a thing saying ask me anything. So I'll be doing those in a minute. So if there's anything you want to ask me that has quite probably been a bit lost in the ramble of the very first live, then feel free to ask me and I will answer it here. Because why not? Here's your chance. Just ask me whatever you want to know, or whatever you might sort of go, oh, well, a bit unclear on that. But I have a couple. One of them I think I've already answered, which was, how did I get into making book boxes? I think that's probably somewhere in there. Book fairy, COVID, furlough. Yes, I did lose my old job because of COVID, but there's nothing you can do about it. A lot of people did, unfortunately, and that's, you know, one of them things. Hey, Louise. That's okay. I believe that you can watch these back. I think they come on as in IGTVs, hopefully. Videos. Unless I haven't recorded this, I don't know. Fingers crossed. But yeah. My next question was... So we've kind of covered a little bit of all sorts. But the next question was from Nicole, which was, which book would you want if you were stuck on a desert island? And apart from the obvious of how to build a raft, which would make more sense, I would say probably Pride and Prejudice or the ACOTAR series, because they're ones I can reread again and again. And I have reread again and again, so I would be waiting. Me too. I would. I'm hoping that this is also recorded, because, yeah. Guess we'll find out. The other one that I have from Zara was, which book did you love when you were young? Which, God, that's a difficult one, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just saying, if anyone wants to ask anything, just ask where, because I'm right here. Hey, Shauna. So, what book did I love when I was young? I loved so many books, it is impossible. I read Point Horror. I read Doctor Who adaptations. I read Animal Arc. I had like a massive collection of Animal Arc and a massive collection of Point Horror. I think I've still got my Doctor Who collection somewhere. I think I've got about 50 to 80 books of those. Hello. So that would be interesting to see. I don't know how many I have. I have no idea how many books I've got altogether. Some of them got damaged couple of houses ago in damp, so I had to lose some, unfortunately. What adaptation of a book I would like to see? That is a tricky one. I don't. Let me have a think. A lot of the books that I would like to see an adaptation of have already been adapted. But I would say, and some of them not very well either. You know what I mean? I don't actually know. I think my brain has just gone, what? Remember what I've been reading recently. I'm gonna have to think about the adaptation one because my brain just went blank. It's all well and good me saying, "Oh, ask me anything," and then my brain just goes, "Nope, I don't think so." What do I think about the rumours of David Tennant coming back? I don't know. Because I have a feeling he'll probably come back in a little bit part and everyone will have blown it out of proportion, to be honest. I can't see him coming back as Doctor Who, to be honest, as the Doctor. Although I imagine my sister would be very happy about that. Because she is, yeah. She does like David Tennant. I think he was her first crush as a child. And I don't think that ever went away. So, yeah. That'd keep her happy. Yes. I would say I wouldn't mind seeing maybe Once by James Herbert adapted, which is kind of like a horror fantasy thing. It's because Stephen King gets adaptations quite a lot, whereas James Herbert doesn't have that many, but I don't know whether that's a legal thing or whether it's just people haven't picked up on it. Because yeah, I mean, James Herbert was always considered the British Stephen King, so that could be quite interesting. Something set in the British countryside, which is horror and fantasy. That would be good. I like a bit of that. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that I like horror, I like fantasy, I like sci-fi. I am a bit of a geek, just like most people here. So yeah. But I suppose I'll just do a little summing up for everyone for a second. Book Living Dragons began by me originally being a book fairy. Then COVID hit and book fairying was no longer allowed. About a month and a half into furlough, I decided I'm going to do some mystery boxes because I'd already Googled those. So I looked it up, did those for a little while. I still love those. I do love those. Then I wanted to do indie because my aunt's an indie author. My friend owns a small business in the only city in Cornwall. And that's where the theme boxes come in, and yeah, kind of developed bit by bit. That was a much quicker summing up of the last 2 years than I did earlier. So if you've just joined, that is basically the first 20 minutes in one go, without all the ums. But yeah, like I say, I'm a little bit nervous because with a story, you can just edit it, you can change it, you can delete it, you can do what you want with it. You can't do that here. So I'm thinking nerves kind of do sometimes get the better of me. I was one of those who at school couldn't get up in front of the class. Panicked, stressed, not a chance. I freaked out. I think a few of us were like that though. But I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't deal with it. I was shaky. I wasn't okay. So knowing that there are some people watching is a bit nervous. Hi, Kim. Hi. Oh, so I don't know. We're just on Ask Me Anything questions at the minute. Did a little something up. I'm really hoping that that this is recorded. Because it's going to be a very interesting thing to try and re-record. That's okay. That's okay. To be fair, this is number 1, so we're testing it out. We're seeing how it goes. Hopefully my next one will be slightly less uncertain and a little bit more confident. But I'll get there. Thanks, Carrie. My brain's just like, ah! Thank you. But yeah. I think if we're going to talk about books, which, let's be honest, as I say, we are Bookstagram. It's what we do. So, book dragons, we're all book dragons, let's be honest. I mean, bookworms are more than welcome to join. But they don't have the book hoards that we do. They don't have the treasure trove of unread TBR mountains. I don't even know how many I have. But, yeah. That is true. Yeah, we do have TBR mountains. I know some people count them. I haven't. I don't even know where mine is. Here, there, and everywhere. So another one. There was another one. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'd love to find out, but at the same time, I'm scared to look. As I say, a couple of houses ago, we had some damp issues, so unfortunately I had to lose a lot of books. So there would have been some more. I think it's probably only a few hundred. Maybe 300 or 400, which is not bad really. But I think it would have been a lot more if they'd have survived. And if I hadn't cleared out when I moved into a flat. So, yeah. Ooh. Oh, my Arkenstone. I don't know. That's a difficult one. That's a very difficult one. With the Arkenstone, do you want me to say the book that is like my holy grail, or do you want the one that is just sitting there on my TBR and just has been there, sat there for a long, long time, just waiting for me to get to it, knowing that it might not be there for a while? Because it really could be either. Oh, both. Oh, God. Okay. Okay. I would say recent reads, because my favourite changes, obviously, because you read a book and you go, oh, I love this book. True. I love this book. And then you go and read another book and you go, oh, no, I love this book. Wait, no, I love that book. So at the moment, it's the ACOTAR series. At the moment. But reading is subject to change. As for what is sitting on my TBR, probably every indie book that I have put in my boxes that I have a copy of. Obviously, I'm reading Marauder at the minute, so pardon me. So I will be getting to them. So that is it's a slowly building pile. So working on it. So hopefully that TBR will be, that particular part of my TBR will be non-existent by the time I get to 2023. Or at least shorter. What book do I think is underrated? That is an interesting one. I do think James Herbert books, like I mentioned earlier, because people always sort of forget about him compared to Stephen King. But other books, probably the Chronicles of Ixia by Maria V. Snyder. I really love those. I don't know how many times I've read those. There's another one as well that I've read a few times that I borrowed from the library about 4 or 5 times and went, I kind of have to buy these books. I can't remember the name of the author, but it's a trilogy. And I've never ever seen it on Bookstagram, and I think I might have to dig them out and just be like, these are the ones I mean, on a different post. Which character do you hate to love, and what one do you love to hate? There you go. I don't know. Risk of sounding like a broken record. ACOTAR. I don't know. Yeah. If I was going to go ACOTAR, anyone who hasn't read it, I'm not going to give you the spoils as these particular characters. So I'm going to pick something else. I think maybe, is it Annie in Misery? You know what I mean? I can't remember the name just escaped me, but I know exactly who I'm talking about. You know the one who holds the writer hostage. I love hating that woman. She's an evil piece of work. But I just think I love the film as well. So it's so good. Annie. Yes. I thought it was Annie. My mind was just starting to question that. But do I hate to love? I like the Darkling. I do like the Darkling from Shadow and Bone. But I don't know if that's because he's played by Ben Barnes and he's a bit nice looking. Live in any fantasy land, which one would it be? Love Valaris. But I think I would live in... I would love to live in Rivendell. Who wouldn't want to live in Rivendell? I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah, you got the City of Starlight, Valaris, or you've got Rivendell, which is just gorgeous. Maybe not Mordor. Mordor probably not my cup of tea. Not gonna lie. Who doesn't like Bellatrix? I mean, Helena Bonham Carter in general is awesome. The Shire. I don't know. I just think I like the waterfalls and the peace and the relaxing elegance of it all. I think if anyone's got any more questions, I'll take a couple more if you've got any. If not, I think my brain is ready to run away. So I'll give it a couple more minutes and go from there. And I hope that this is recorded. Eat, nap, and garden. Eat, nap. Eat and nap. Just eat and nap. Thanks. Oh, don't worry, I will be reading a book, I'm sure. Dear me. So yes, I think I will love you and leave you. Hi, Sammy. I will love you and leave you. And let me know how you're doing, because it's Tuesday evening, almost halfway through the week. And if you just sort of let me know how you're doing in the comments, I will see you hopefully for the next one. Bye. How do I stop this? Ah! Oh dear. I'm terrible. Hi guys.